Between 1892 and 1954, Ellis Island was the main port of entry for immigrants coming to the United States. Over 12 million people passed through its halls, each with their own story of hope, fear, and determination. But behind the dream of a new life lay strict inspections, emotional goodbyes, and life-changing decisions. What really happened on this tiny island in New York Harbor? In the late 1800s, immigration to the U.S. exploded. Millions were fleeing poverty, war, and persecution in Europe. The U.S. needed a centralized system to manage the growing influx of people. In 1892, Ellis Island opened as a federal immigration station, replacing older facilities at Castle Garden in Manhattan. The first immigrant to arrive? A 15-year-old girl from Ireland named Annie Moore. For immigrants, Ellis Island was both terrifying and thrilling. Ships arrived in New York Harbor, and passengers were ferried to the island. The third-class, steerage, passengers, the vast majority, had to go through inspection. Inside the registry room, also called the Great Hall, they faced a series of tests. Medical inspections checked for contagious diseases, and legal interviews determined if they could support themselves or were likely to become a public charge. Most were processed in 3 to 5 hours, but others were detained for days, weeks, or even months. While most immigrants were allowed in, not everyone made it through. About 2% were denied entry, often due to illness, criminal records, or failure to meet legal requirements. Families could be separated, with some allowed to enter while others were sent back. Emotional scenes played out daily, people weeping with joy, others sobbing in heartbreak. Still, Ellis Island remained a beacon of hope. For millions, it was the first step toward a new life in America. Ellis Island closed as an immigration station in 1954, but its story lives on. Today, over 40% of Americans can trace at least one ancestor through Ellis Island. The site is now a national museum, preserving the stories of those who passed through. It represents not just immigration, but the struggle, sacrifice, and hope that define the American experience. If your future depended on a 5-minute interview and a health check, would you make it through? Could you leave everything behind for a dream you might never reach?